Welcome to Power, Ride or Die. Power, Ride or Die Episode 1, Unlikely Alliance. It all started on a rainy night. Rob, a middle-aged young man, hardworking and determined, was grinding through another shift. Driving full-time for Uber wasn't glamorous, but it kept the lights on. Tonight was supposed to be just another night, but it would become the one that changed everything. Earlier that evening, Rob picked up a mother and her daughter in Northeast Philly. They climbed into the back seat, excited and chatting about their recent shopping spree. The young lady said, "Look at all this. I'm good for the fall." "What's this place?" Rob asked casually, glancing at the bags they carried. "It's a Snipes warehouse," the daughter replied, beaming. "They've got all the sneakers and fashion you want, for cheap." Rob nodded, but as he drove away, her answer stayed with him. Something about the location struck him as odd. The warehouse sat in the middle of a long, desolate parking lot, surrounded by cracked pavement and flickering streetlights. The building itself looked abandoned, broken windows, faded paint, and a rusty metal sign barely clinging to life. It didn't seem like the kind of place to score the latest sneakers. Rob wasn't suspicious, but his curiosity was piqued. What kind of deals are they running in a place like that? As the rain poured harder, he found himself driving back to the warehouse. He thought to himself, let's take a break and check out some new footwear. He wasn't looking for trouble, just a good deal. As he returned to the warehouse parking lot, he chose to park in the back, near the exit where the asphalt was much smoother away from the other cars. When he stepped inside, the atmosphere immediately felt different. Security guards stood rigid by the doors, their eyes scanning the room. The faint hum of fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, illuminating the rows of shelves filled with shoes and clothing. In the back, a group of men huddled together, their conversation low and tense. One of them, a towering figure with a deep scar slashing across his face, turned and locked eyes with Rob. The intensity of his glare wasn't just unsettling, it was a warning. Rob shrugged it off. Damn, this guy is mad at something, but fuck him to himself, Rob said. I'm here to see what the shoe hype was about. But trouble had other plans. As Rob wandered the aisles, the quiet tension snapped like a rubber band. Fuck you, Pendejo, a voice roared, shattering the calm. It was the scar-faced man, yelling among the two groups of suspicious guys in the huddle, and he pulled a gun, began firing, shooting everyone in sight. Gunfire erupted everywhere, tearing through the silence. Rob dove to the ground as bullets ripped through the air, shattering shelves and sending sneakers flying. The scar-faced man fired wildly, his maniacal laughter echoing above the chaos. Rival gangs discharged their weapons, turning the warehouse into a battleground. Rob wasn't part of this. He wasn't supposed to be here. But now he had no choice but to survive, hiding and ducking out the way best as he could. A thug lunged at him, swinging a metal pipe. Rob ducked, grabbed a nearby shelf, and swung it like a bat, knocking the guy out cold. Another thug came at him with his gun pointing. Rob wrestled the gun away, adrenaline fueling his movements, and slammed the man to the ground, hitting him with the metal pipe and running for cover. The scar-faced man continued his rampage, firing indiscriminately. Rob moved behind tables, trying to find a way out. That's when he saw it. A man crawling on the floor, clearly trying to escape the chaos. He wasn't holding a weapon. He was just trying to survive. The scar-faced man spotted him and grinned maliciously, leveling his gun at the man. "Where do you think you're going?" he sneered, stepping closer. The crawling man froze, his eyes wide with fear, as the scar-faced man's finger tightened on the trigger. Rob acted without thinking, grabbing a 9mm handgun from under a wounded thug on the floor. He aimed. 6 shots. The scar-faced man staggered, his body jerking with each hit before crumpling to the floor, lifeless. The warehouse fell silent, the chaos finally subsiding. Rob stood there, breathing heavily, the gun still in his hand. The man who had been crawling slowly got to his feet, his movements cautious. He wasn't badly hurt, but he looked shaken. "Who the fuck are you?" the man asked, his voice steady but sharp, his eyes scanning Rob. Rob pointed the gun to him, then tossed the gun aside and extended a hand. "Doesn't matter," Rob said coolly. The man hesitated before smirking faintly and taking Rob's hand, pulling himself up by Rob's hand. "Name's Juan," he said, brushing himself off. "You just saved my life." Rob frowned, still trying to process everything. "What the hell is going on here?" Juan gestured to the carnage around them. "Everybody shot dead, all my crew." "You're not hit?" he asked Rob surprisingly. "You're not either," Rob said. Then Juan yelled, "Pop, that guy you shot, he was cartel. They've been trying to take over this place. Take over Philly. Marcus, the owner, refused to play ball, so they came to clean house. You walked into a war, man." Rob glanced at the bodies, the shattered shelves, and the piles of cash and drugs now visible. His stomach twisted. "What are we supposed to do with all this?" Juan's gaze was steady, unwavering. "We're taking it. All of it. You get half. But we gotta move now." The distant wail of police sirens cut through the rain-soaked night, growing louder by the second. "Shit," Juan muttered, frantically stuffing cash and drugs into bags. They were gonna rob us anyway. Rob hesitated only for a moment. Then he nodded. "All right, let's move." The two worked quickly, grabbing everything they could before sprinting out into the rain. They threw the bags into Rob's white Ford Fusion and jumped in just as the flashing blue lights appeared in the distance. Rob floored it, tires screeching as they sped into the night. The rain blurred the city lights, and silence filled the car. Finally, after a few tense blocks, Rob pulled over. Juan broke the silence first. "This is worth a fortune," he said, eyeing the bags of cash and drugs. "More money than you could imagine." Rob leaned back, his jaw tight. "What's the plan, Juan? We can't sit on this forever." Juan exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. "I don't have any connections left. My boss, he knew a guy in Chicago. Crazy white boy. Nuts, but he owes us a favor. Problem is, I've never met him." "A crazy white boy in Chicago?" Rob asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yeah," Juan nodded. "But for now, I need to lay low. The streets are going to be hot after what just went down. I've got family in York, Pennsylvania. I'll disappear there for a while." Rob thought it over and nodded. "I'm an Uber driver. I'll take you." Juan smiled faintly, the tension in his shoulders easing. "Thanks, man. It's about an hour away." As they sped into the rainy night, the city faded into the distance. Rob and Juan, two strangers now bound by chaos, began planning their next moves. And as the night stretched on, Rob couldn't help but wonder, how deep was this going to go? And so, on a rainy night in Philadelphia, two strangers, Rob and Juan, found themselves bound together by chance and chaos. But this was only the beginning. Power Ride or Die Unlikely Alliance, end of episode 1. Coming next, new player, same old town, episode 2. In the next episode, the streets of Philly heat up as a new player enters the game. Rob and Juan will find that their uneasy alliance is just the start of a much bigger battle. Don't miss new player, same old town. Power Ride or Die.